I'm Dan, and this is the Miyoo Mini version 2, not the Plus, not the version 3 or not the version 4. It is in a transparent green or transparent blue. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm colourblind. To me, it's kind of like a teal colour. It's transparent, and I've got it running Onion OS. And this is just my thoughts after owning this for over a year. It is a very small handheld, as you can see. It is famously small. It is one of the highest rated small devices, or was before its successor, I suppose, its Plus variant, which has the same chipset but it's just slightly bigger. As you can see, it's pretty diddy, especially when I'm holding it to play. Now, if I was playing it, just go through my games. On here, you have things like the Capcom arcade systems. You have Nintendo DS, which is a new edition, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Genesis, SNES. You've got the Neo Geo, the Neo Geo Pocket Color, PlayStation 1, SNES, Master System, and the WonderSwan. There were some other systems on the device. I sort of tidied this up a bit because some of the systems were a little bit ropey, didn't work necessarily. I mean, these are like older systems, and tidied it up so it's just ones which I'm likely to use, and yeah, just prettied it up really. Now this device doesn't have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, but I'm running a custom firmware called Onion, which is very well known. I'm running on a sort of PlayStation style theme, which is quite visually appealing. I'm sure there'll be an update now which would have a icon for Drastic, which is the Nintendo DS emulator, but I haven't updated to that just yet. I love transparent consoles. You may have seen my Retro Pocket 2S. I just love how they look. I love being able to see through them. And this is probably my favourite colour, to be honest. If I had all the money in the world, I'd wrap my car in this colour. I'd paint my walls in this colour. It's an awesome colour. However, my issue with the Miyoo Mini is that I only really take it out nowadays the rare occasion where I want to do some like level grinding on Final Fantasy VI, which, I mean, this is great for things like Final Fantasy VI and for level grinding old RPGs, just because it's small, it's convenient, and you can do fast forward mode using the custom firmware. You might be able to do it on other before this custom firmware, to be honest, but it's very easy to load into your save state, just by press the button, and just go in there and do some level grinding. And like I say, the screen looks great. Supposedly it is from a BlackBerry. I had a BlackBerry back in the day, and yeah, it's a pretty cool screen. That's the rumour, is it's a BlackBerry screen. I say you can go into fast forward mode and all that sort of stuff. It is great for level grinding old RPGs because there's a lot of grind in old RPGs. And basically the things I have to be thankful for this device is that finally, as I say, this runs PS1 and now Nintendo DS, probably the more advanced systems it runs. But I tried several times and got probably 5 hours in each time to complete Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation, on the PC, on the Nintendo Switch, on emulation before, and then finally on a recent holiday I managed to complete Final Fantasy VII on the Miyoo Mini, and yeah, great game. I understand why everyone loves it so much. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan anyway, but yeah, for that I'm really grateful, because without the Miyoo Mini maybe I wouldn't have completed it. I think having a device like this, which has, unfortunately, option paralysis, I've got like 10,000 games on here, but on a device like this, which forces you to only play retro games because that's all it can handle, it gives you a chance to really dig in and enjoy some unappreciated classics. Well, classics you've been meaning to get to, because I mean, it's not a way that Final Fantasy VII is unappreciated. It's one of the most renowned and popular games of all time. But yeah, it's for me something that forced me to play Final Fantasy VII rather than having the Steam Deck, which allows me to play all my new PC games. And it's hard to pick. What would you rather play today? Or I'd rather play Final Fantasy VI on this tiny little thing, or play Final Fantasy 15 on this in beautiful OLED. Most of the time you're going to pick the more recent game on the more powerful device. But just taking this on holiday or vacation with me was enough to actually put some proper time into a game I've been meaning to complete. So I'm thankful for that. Now the downsides, obviously you've got D-pad, start, select, and these very sort of snazzy A, B, X, Y on here, and you've got this function key which allows you to hot swap between between your games, and on the back you've got a L1, L2, R1, R2, these triggers here. Despite all that, it's not particularly comfortable. As you see, it's one of the smallest functional devices you can get. There are some, but they're more like gimmicks or toys. This is the smallest sort of functional device, really. And as somebody with fairly large hands, as you can see, holding this for any length of time isn't massively comfortable. What is cool though is, as you can see, because this is an old RPG, I can operate it one-handed, which again really helps with level grinding. If you get this onto fast forward mode, which you can do by, see if I remember, function plus R2. Now in fast forward mode, and now I just press A. I'm in the easy fight, just grind some XP, grind some levels. Hopefully I don't die while I'm trying to show off how easy it is to play. But yeah, one-hand mode. Let's go around. Let's go around the world. One-hand mode. Yeah, running about. Grind a little fight. Could do this while watching TV. Could do this while making a YouTube video. Could hit the table incessantly whilst making a YouTube video to disturb the sound and potentially throw the camera off at this plinth. But yeah, it's, I say, very little effort. And it's much better than just staring at it intently and doing this fight in, double or 3 times the time. Yeah. So that's the strength of the device. One-handed mode is easy enough. It's when you need to use 2 hands that you can get the hand cramps. It's not particularly comfortable, but you'd expect that from something this size, really. It's not like Miyoo ever said, this is going to be Ergonomics King, this is going to be the perfect device for all of your everyday needs. It is not necessarily a gimmick, but it is a device with a single purpose, to destroy the world of men, or to play old retro games on a small little machine, which you can quickly turn off like that, pop into its case, which comes with it, and now it's a nice little firm case, and still, even in the case about this big, it's still smaller than a phone. Obviously it's considerably a bit thicker than a phone, but still smaller than a phone. You just chuck it into any pocket. It goes into your top pocket, into your jacket pockets, and go literally anywhere. Don't really notice it. For travelling, chuck in a rucksack. You won't even remember you've got it half the time. And if you do get really bored, or you just need to put 4 hours into grinding out level on Final Fantasy VI on the Game Boy Advance port, you can just do that, and that's the best run for it. Another great thing that's favour is because it runs on Linux, and you've got the custom firmware, which again I would like to thank the creators of Onion, because it is just a super little piece of kit. No bells, no whistles, just does what you need to do. But yeah, you hold the function button, quit out the game, back in the menus, and in the menus I've got 69% battery. I can't remember the last time I charged this. Generally can't. I've made a few videos on this. Some of those videos were 2 or 3 months ago. I haven't charged it in the meantime. Wherever it was before, I haven't charged it. Basically, you can put this power off and it goes into Android devices are nowhere near this in terms of like this, the sleep state on this probably lose like, I don't know, percentage a month. It is mad how well this retains charge. So that's great. However, I do have my eyes on the Anbernic RG35XX Plus because that can run up to GameCube. It doesn't look as good as this. That's the massive downside. It's quite plain. It's like a shrunken original Game Boy. But it's a bit bigger, not clunky or outrageous, but it's bigger in a practical way for me because of the size of my hands and for comfort and ergonomics. So that does appeal to me, and being a bit more powerful. It has Wi-Fi, it has Bluetooth, which this does not. So for example, you can scrape your own box art using Wi-Fi, which it's just something about going through like the Game Boy Advance on here. Now this is all very functional, but it's not a particularly attractive menu, is it? Like just, and there's no one's fault. I'm not criticising or anything. I'm saying like I'd much rather have all my box art scraped using Wi-Fi because that just adds so much to the console experience. But yeah, say it's a great little device. I can see why they're so in demand. If people are interested in one, go for it. They're brilliant. The screen is so vibrant. Every time I turn this on, now I've got a Steam Deck OLED. Your phone, obviously, your phone's like £800 or something these days, and they've got great screens on them. I've got other emulation devices. But when I turn this on, every time I go, damn, that pops. That screen really, really pops. That is really cool. And I think for something, I'd say Game Boy Advance is probably the best system to play on here because it's modern enough. It runs super smooth and the colours look absolutely great. If I can eventually get through my 830 games on here, which I've backed up from my own games, I will show you just quickly a little bit of Sonic Advance because it just looks really cool, just really stands out. And this, I'd say the main reason I get this device out these days is just to show it to my friends, show off and go, hey, look at this cool little bit of kit. Which is again like the biggest strength and the biggest weakness to this is Nintendo Game Boy. Don't think it is Nintendo Game Boy, it's Sonic Advance. I think that'd be a different load. Did the Game Boy have, did the Sonic Game Boy Advance have that loading screen? I don't know, you tell me. But yeah, Sonic Advance. I'd say the sound on this is pretty terrible. But then I've listened to this on a few devices recently, because I've put some games onto my nephew's Fire tablet, and it sounds pretty terrible on that as well, to be honest. So it might just be the game, might be the emulator. But yeah, just looks really good. I don't know if the screen is doing it justice, doing screen justice on here, but yeah, it's just a great looking game, really vibrant, really pops. Great looking machine, sorry. I mean, the game obviously is great looking, but just really pops, and it's just fun. And I love this game. I did genuinely own this game on the Game Boy Advance, and now I'm just kind of getting, it's hard not to enjoy playing it. But yeah, the device has its strengths. I would say ergonomics and comfortability. I mean, I'm playing this at the moment and I've got my fingers sort of wrapped. I've heard things about the fragility of this, like if you drop on the floor, it will break. I mean, something which costs £60 from China, kind of got to expect that really, haven't you? But something that's so beautiful and such a statement piece that you want to show off to your friends and go, hey guys, look at this great thing. Also simultaneously being something that's quite fragile and that you sort of, like, for example, I'd love to show this to my niece and nephew, but I'd be a little bit worried that at their age that get a little bit frustrated and take a little bit of damage. I don't think it would take much punishment. It's just, very fragile, very flimsy. But yeah, that is the Miyoo Mini. And I hope that this was not a great run. 54 seconds I've done it in for, which is still not a great run. I'm sure you guys have done it 30 or something. But yeah, it's a great piece of kit. But do I want to get the Ambernic RG35XX Plus? Most likely. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I've got Patreon, patreon.com/EerieFoxDan. Doing something a bit different. Film myself playing these games rather than just film my hands. Just try it out. And as I say, thanks for watching, and cheers, thanks, and bye.